Hello, I'm Derek Pryor with Resulting, formerly a Gartner analyst specialising in SAP. Today, I'm in the Resulting STEM studio with Nick discussing SAP CoEs and the culture for success. Nick, this is a subject which we're both passionate about. I've done lots of research at Gartner for quite a few years, and customers always ask me about it, but you've been right at the sharp end, you've been involved in lots of CoEs. What do you think? Culture of success? How do you build it?
Well, Derek, it's something we've talked about many times, even quite recently here in the studio as well. I think the most important part to remember about the CoE is really, with many SAP programs, your CoE is what's going to drive the transformation beyond the program. So, as we always describe it, going live is really the start of the journey. It's not the end of the journey. And good organisations put in place a centre of excellence structure or a competence centre structure, as we know. That's always been the Gartner recommendation, and we've worked with many clients to enable them to set up those types of structures. From a cultural perspective, the key aspect of a CoE is for it to be truly connected. Many organisations include components from both the business and the IT organisations. So in some, the whole of the Centre of Excellence is within IT. In others, there are IT components and there are business components. Culturally, it really shouldn't matter because they should be working towards one joint goal, which is really driving the benefit and value from that huge investment that you've just made in your SAP program. So you've got to find a way to get those teams to work together. And that's why we have a very specific focus and a very specific structure in terms of how we set up a centre of excellence on behalf of our clients. So there's typically four main focal areas. One which drives the ongoing solution delivery, because despite what you think on a program, you never actually stop delivering the solution. Even if you're doing a large template rollout, you continue to enhance the solution going forward. You get new requirements coming from your GPO structure. So there has to be that technology delivery capability. And of course, there has to be another capability that supports all of those solutions once they're delivered. So they're the two primary IT functions. Then once we switch on to the business side, and as you know, something very close to my heart is around how do you really connect with the business? How do you engage with the global process owners, help them to shape their roadmaps, their initiatives, the real transformation agenda going forward? So we typically advise that you would have a process improvement type organisation supporting your GPOs. Again, it doesn't really matter if that's in the business or if it's in IT, but everybody understands the business roadmap and they understand the technology roadmap, and that's the key cultural component. The fourth one is really important, business enablement. As we know, there's a big focus on change before you go live with a program. Training users, carrying out role mapping, developing super user communities. And in organisations that do this well, they carry those structures on an ongoing basis. And what we typically advise is you put them into a business enablement type structure. That's the part of the organisation that's really going to feed and water the users going forward. They're going to make sure that they get everything that they really need. So they're going to drive the adoption. And as we've learned recently from our SAP Success Survey, actually driving that adoption is absolutely key. I think it's the number one finding on our list. Many organisations don't do that well, and that's really because they don't have the right type of centre of excellence structure. So culturally, the big challenge is that you need all of those four component parts, but you've got to find a way for that organisation to gel together. But if they have that single goal in mind, that they're driving that journey, they're really driving the real benefit and value realisation from that investment, then it makes it far easier.
So that was great, Nick, but don't you think one of the real problems is in getting that culture right is you need the best people from across the organisation, but doesn't everybody want the best people?
Well, you do naturally, you want the best people. And that really, that's a key topic for us recently. We've had such a strong focus on self-sufficiency in organisations. The days of outsourcing all of your support or everything in your centre of excellence to a third-party provider and really relying on them, those days, they're not gone, but there's a different mindset now. So it's right to bring in resource to help you through your program. It's right to bring in resource in specific niche areas where you just won't have the skills in-house.
Yeah.
But where we're really focusing our efforts with our clients now is that laser-like focus on self-sufficiency. It's getting the right people from the business to be part of your program. And then the key thing is fostering the right culture in your centre of excellence to make them want to join that and be part of that ongoing journey. And that's not easy, but again, organisations that are doing this well have that focus on it's the right place to be, it's an important part of the business, they're putting the right type of HR structure around that. And again, it's the cultural aspect that this isn't just a technology support role. You are fundamentally driving business transformation. You're driving the benefit and value on behalf of your business, and that's a great role to be in.
Nick, this sounds perfect. This sounds great. This is what customers need. But surely, if we're talking self-sufficiency, we're talking huge business savings here, aren't we? If the customer can really do much more of this, they're not going to be writing out such big checks, and they're going to do things faster with bringing in more business value, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's maybe counter to how things have worked over the last 10 years, but it's a slightly new way of thinking. It kind of seems obvious. You know, why didn't we do this before? But as you know well, it's down to trends in the industry. But this one's not really a trend. It's actually been, you know, staring us in the face for all of this time. If you can make the investment on your internal people, then clearly that's a good thing to do, and you actually begin to retain more control, and you're not so reliant on vendors who, at the end of the day, no matter how good they are, you know, their agenda is to get you to spend more money with them. That's how their business model works. So why not take back control, build the right culture internally, drive self-sufficiency, because ultimately you're in charge of your own success.
Fantastic. Well, this is really encouraging stuff. So we've covered a lot of ground there, Nick. Maybe you could just help the SAP customers and just sum everything up for them. What's the key takeaways from this whole discussion?
Well, I suppose going in reverse order, focus on self-sufficiency, get the right people, build the right environment, the right place for them to be, and develop their career. I think secondly, you'll probably have a big debate around your centre of excellence and where it fits organisationally when you're defining your target operate model. Ultimately, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's in the business, in IT, or a part of both. If you've got the right culture, you've got the right people, you've got the right management, then people want to be part of that organisation, and they'll really want to drive your organisation forward. So for me, they're the two primary takeaways.
Fantastic. Great summary and great content. And for our readers, if you'd like to check out more, if you'd like to find out more rather, please do check out our website and look for the SAP Success Report. Thank you.